Okay, so picture this, an entire empire just gone. The palaces are crumbling, the language is disappearing, and its whole history is basically turning into fairy tales. But then you have this one poet, right? And he has this incredible idea. He's going to bring it all back, not with an army, but with words. And what he created, well, it became one of the greatest literary treasures in the world, the Shahnameh.
And right at the heart of this whole epic story is this larger-than-life figure. His name is Rostam. And believe me, he's more than just some hero who fights monsters. He's a symbol. He's the Lion of Iran. He is the beating heart of the entire poem.
But to really get what makes Rostam so important and to understand the world he lives in, we've got to look behind the curtain. We have to ask, who was the genius who actually put all this together? Who was the person who dared to piece a nation's soul back together from nothing but memories?
Well, that mind belonged to a man named Ferdowsi. And he wasn't a king, he wasn't some powerful noble. Nope, he was a poet from a city called Tus. But the job he gave himself, it was bigger than anything an emperor could dream of. See, his goal wasn't just to tell a story, it was to build a home, a sanctuary for the soul of his people.
And that ambition, that project, was the Shahnameh, the Book of Kings. Think about it. It was his answer to hundreds of years of his culture being silenced. He set out to collect every myth, every legend, every single story of a hero he could find, and then weave them all together into one single, massive, epic narrative. Okay, so to really get how huge this was, you have to understand the world he was living in. We're talking about the 10th century here. The legendary Persian empires of guys like Cyrus the Great, that was ancient history, even to him. For hundreds of years, his homeland had been ruled by outsiders. The culture, the language, it was all being pushed down.
And this timeline, wow, it really shows you that long, quiet period. Just look at that gap. We're talking centuries between the last native Persian empire falling and the 900s. But then, something starts to change. You see that flicker of light? You get these new dynasties, like the Samanids, and they start this cultural revival. It was the perfect moment, the perfect environment for someone like Ferdowsi to step up.
This really captures the two sides of the coin, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the hard reality, a conquered land, ruins everywhere. But on the other side, something amazing was happening under the surface. It was like this quiet, powerful rebellion of the spirit. The Persian language was coming back into the courts. Storytellers were starting to whisper those old tales again. And for Ferdowsi's work, it was the ultimate mic drop moment for this whole rebirth. So, how do you even start to rebuild a civilization's entire memory? It's a huge question, and Ferdowsi knew the answer wasn't to start with recent events. No, he had to dig deeper, way deeper, back to the very foundation of it all. He began by bringing back the ancient myths of Persia, rebuilding what's been called the lost architecture of a civilization's soul. I love that phrase. So he kicks things off right at the beginning of time. You've got the first king, Mars, who sets up this divine order. That leads to this amazing golden age under a king named Jamshid. Everything's peaceful, everyone's happy. But then, of course, pride gets in the way. There's a huge fall from grace, and the world is thrown into 1,000 years of darkness under this, frankly, terrifying, snake-shouldered king named Zahak. And that epic struggle between good and evil, that's what sets the stage for the heroes who have to step up and bring back the light. And right into this incredible, mythic world, a world desperate for a hero, that's where our guy, Rostam, comes back into the picture. And now you can really start to see why he's so much more than just some big, strong warrior. I mean, Rostam is basically the soul of this entire epic. He's the ultimate protector, right? The moral compass for all the kings he serves. And what's so cool is that even though he's this mythic figure, he also messes up. He suffers. And that makes him feel so human. He's got this incredible strength, this absolute loyalty, the exact qualities a culture needs to hang on. But he's also got this tragic fate hanging over him.
And really, that's the heart of it. That's the whole point. Through this one character, Rostam, Ferdowsi basically defined a whole cultural identity. An identity that's proud, but also knows its place in the face of destiny. It's powerful, but it's held together by a profound sense of duty. It's an identity that says, hey, we're all gonna die, but maybe, just maybe, we can live forever in the stories we tell.
And here we are, 1,000 years after Ferdowsi first put pen to paper, and the Shahnameh is still so alive. It's still a source of pride, a pillar of identity. Which kind of makes you think, right? It leaves us with this one last question.
What are the stories that hold our worlds together today? What are the epics we're creating right now that people might be talking about 1,000 years from now?